All right, so Kenneth, if you can introduce yourself for all the listeners out there, and then give us something that you're grateful for today.
My name is Kenneth Moore. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a certified basketball scout. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful for my family. I have one biological child and four stepchildren, so five kids in total. And I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful to be here.
Amen. Amen. For sure, bro. Man, and again, appreciate you hopping on the pod, man. Just wanted to take some time to dive into your story and kind of why you decided to get into this basketball space, right? So like take me back to middle school, high school, like where did your basketball journey start and kind of take me through, your basketball journey.
All right, so I can remember as a kid, maybe 4, 5 years old, and my dad and we would watch basketball games all the time. We would watch. It was these tapes that came out. They were called NBA bloopers. We would watch those and stuff, and through that, I learned like a different side of the game. I'm a sports fan in general. Man, I love sports. I love basketball and football. I can recall that's like my earliest memories, and of course, like Michael Jordan, of course, watching his career. I mean, I don't know what kid wasn't inspired by him in some form. One of my fondest memories is when my dad and I went to Washington at the time, a Washington Bullets game, and we got there really early. And I don't know if he had connections or not. We were we were able to get a hold of, I guess, one of the guys that like clean the floor, like or sweep the floor or whatever, and like that. And he asked the guy, could I maybe run around a little bit on the court? Mind you, there's an empty court, so I mean, I'm a little kid, and I'm just looking at it like, wow, this is larger than life. And those few minutes, man, like I said, the guy said, "Hey, man, let him run around. You can run around." That was just like, wow, man. And so I've been a fan ever since my middle school days. I'll put it like this: I'm on the amateur level as far as playing. I'm not even going front, and that's mainly because I've been a little inconsistent as far as playing. In middle school and stuff like that, high school, I was playing a lot. I didn't play. I didn't play on the team or anything. But I was just doing like street ball, mainly when the and one mixtapes, man. I know you remember those. Man, like all that stuff, that's is just inspired me. And even to this day, I have a good feeling every time I'm at like a sporting event, but especially a basketball game. It's something about the atmosphere, the energy, and it's like I kind of feel at peace, you know what I mean? And it's like, if I can have this feeling and maybe work in this field, work in the industry, that would be a plus for me. Yeah, that's basically how I got into it. And lately, I'll say about the beginning of this year, I actually took it seriously. I was online and I was looking up different schools for sports management and things like that. But I didn't want to go to like a 4 year school and not like that because I'm like, I'm 34 years old. I, I don't really got that much time, man. You know what I mean? Like, I got a family, I got things to do. So it's like, I don't want to cheat the process and nothing like that, but I want to be able to do it as quick as possible. So I found Sports Management Worldwide. That's like a huge sports management school. They have all sports. They cover all sports in every aspect from front office, coaching, the agent side. It's a real good school. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to get my mind ready to change my career, to change the way I go about things. That's when I decided, you know what? Let me go for basketball general manager or like a scout. Let me go for that. I took the course and I graduated last month. Completed the course, got my certificate, and I was like, you know what? That's a good accomplishment for me because I never really finished a lot of the things that I started. I was one of those procrastinating kids, and I wanted to change that. and no time like the present. So I went forward and I did it. Now the journey's not over. Of course not. Like, it's just begun. I was able to put myself out there while I was in by putting out scouting reports. Now I was just learning how to put them together and what belonged in them. So I was like, you know what, I can do this. And getting a lot of feedback from my classmates and feedback from my instructor. One of my instructors was a former GM, Rick Sund. He used to be the Seattle Seahawks manager back in the day, like the Sean Kemp days, and he was with Atlanta recently, as recently as I think 2012, 2013. He really liked my work because I not only do scouting reports, I've done like off-season reports as well, like for different teams of the NBA and things like that, breaking down financially different things. Just trying to show that I'm versatile. Yeah, man, I got a lot of traction. I gained a lot of traction even on LinkedIn, Instagram. Like, I'm trying to kind of expand my brand, quote unquote. Just putting the things out there, putting my scouting reports out there, tagging the players that I'm putting them on, specifically targeting certain players to catch their attention and things like that. So far it's working out pretty well, man. And I'm just trying to progress steadily, be consistent.
Yeah, man. Well, one, I appreciate you sharing that with me. And well, one, first, let me retract that. Number one, congrats, right? I think a powerful quote, and I had to write it down when you said it. You said you had to prepare to change. Like, you knew you were going to start something and you knew your previous track record. I like to procrastinate. All right, let me make my mind up.
Right.
And then so let's talk about that process, because this oftentimes, we always procrastinate. Oh, I should lose weight, or oh, I should go to the gym, or oh, I should do this homework, but I'd rather do. So what is it? And I guess you can, the best experience is your own experience, right? So what is it from your experience, would you say is like the motivating factor to get you to want to do something different?
Well, number one, children. They are a big motivating factor. And not just, for the typical, financial well-being thing, but because, like you and I had talked about just now, I want them to be inspired. I want them to see that what they put their minds to, and if they work hard at it and actually focus on it, they can achieve it. And in today's society, it's so much going on. You see a lot of failed potential, or untapped potential all around, especially in youth. And I just want them to know and to be proud, a positive figure. You know what I'm saying? Like, becoming more positive figure, and being a scout. That's another reason why I wanted to get into it as well. One of my daughters, she plays basketball, and she's about to start playing for her middle school, when school starts. Oh, seeing her and her team, that motivates me as well, because it's like, it's cool. I want to see her grow. And then when I'm getting my sons into it as well. When I see them grow, and maybe when my career grows, because at the end of the day, my goal is to be, hopefully, an NBA GM. I'm gonna put that in the universe. Just to see how we all can progress in the world of sports. That what motivates me, besides the financial part, obviously. I would say that.
Again, thank you for sharing, bro. That's dope. That's dope. So what would you say to, let's say you ran into your younger self at, 10, 11, 12 years old? Well, what is a word of wisdom that you would give your younger self to kind of inspire him as he gets into one of those rough stages of life, right? Middle school, high school. Hey, let there be light.
That's a great question. I would tell myself, be strong. Don't waver. Don't be distracted. That's what I would tell myself. Like, don't be distracted. I actually thought about this maybe a year ago, and I was almost brought to tears, because I just had a vision of my younger self, And I think I was looking at pictures or something like when I was younger or something like that. And it kind of just like sparked something, sparked some emotion from me. And it's like, you owe it to him. I'm telling myself this, my current self, you owe it to him to be the best that he wanted to be. And I was like, yeah, it almost brought me to tears thinking about that, man. Cause I'm like, yeah, I got to change. I got to do what I feel is best for me, and when I say this, I'm not saying that I have a dead end job. It's just the fact that it comes a time when you feel like, all right, these things have reached the ceiling, it's run its course. And I want to put more emphasis on myself because we only have one life to live, so it's like, why not go for it, man? And like I said, like we said earlier, I mean, you sometimes you gotta risk and gamble on yourself, man, and you'll be surprised at the results. So I would tell myself definitely just stay focused. Don't be distracted. You know how you are. You know the qualities. You know how you was raised. Just me telling myself that like just go for it, man. You can achieve great things, man. Believe in yourself. Yeah.
Mm.
That's a great question.
That's a great answer, honestly. That's an excellent answer, bro. That got me reflecting a little bit, honestly, taking it back, bro.
Thanks, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, like you owe it to that kid. You owe it to your young self. It's like, man, look at all the hope. Look at all the fun I was having. Like, and this world, man. Like I previously said, like this world, it's too much going on. So it's like you want to get away, from the everyday grinds of reality and stuff like that. So why not be happy? You know what I mean? Why not choose to at least attempt to be happy? Give yourself a chance. If we don't, I say this often, if you don't give yourself a chance, then you can't complain about nothing. You can't whine about anything. Come on. What are you here for?
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, it's either live a life by design or fall in line. One of the two.
Right. We'll find a line. Because, a lot of stuff goes back into your schooling, your education, your environment, and and what you see. And it's like, it's time to change things. People realize that we have the power to change, and change, while it sounds like a big thing, because a lot of people aren't comfortable with it. While it sounds like a big thing, it's really not that hard. It doesn't take that much energy.
It's just a shift.
It's
It's like
just a
it's like
shift.
it's like when you sitting in a chair and the side of your butt go numb and you lazy, you don't want to move, but all you got to do is just shift a little bit and the pain subsides. Oh, and you
Yep.
shift a little bit more and you get a little bit more like it's the same thing like with those changes. Like you make one slight change and then it's a snowball effect happens, but you got to be willing to take that initial, what is it, MLK's quote. I don't want to butcher it, but you don't have to see the whole staircase, but take the first step.
Yeah, man. And let me tell you, man, the fear of failure. I still struggle with that. Most people probably do. I mean, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but it's like the fear of failure. It grasped me a lot. The older I got and the older I get, I realized the fear of not also could lead to failure as well. So you got to break off that. Like, what's the worst that can happen? No. We get so many no's in everyday life that you should be used to it. So all it does is it should just motivate you. And I had got a lot of advice from top scouts, international scouts too. And they all told me, even when I read articles from scouts and things like that, I've always seen one common thing. You can't let it you can't let it waver. You can't let your love of the game and your love of doing this waver just because you might not have the success you want when you want it. A lot of people can get lost, and not just scouting, but in sports industry in general, any industry. You can, but we're talking about sports, but you can get lost within it. And it's like, wow, nothing's moving. Nothing's really going on. So you just stay stagnant. And that is a no-no if you want to progress. Everything is training. I look at it like that. Everything is training to get into your ultimate goal. So even if something sets you back, use it as practice, or like use everything as kind of like a drill or something.
Yeah, everything that you do should be a lesson or a building block to
Right.
something. It should be guiding you. So you should be able to use it, the good, the bad, the neutral. You should be able to use that insight. And like I tell my players, when you miss a shot, it's just feedback. Whether it's good or bad, whether it goes in or you miss it, it's feedback. Get
Right.
the feedback and readjust, reassess.
Right. Right. Because you're always going to get another chance to shoot. You're always going to get another shot. I mean, and it goes back to earlier what I was saying. I had to readjust my mind. I had to look at things differently because scouting, you're looking at talent, you're evaluating talent, you're spotting talent. Not just that, intel. Intel is very important, and intel, which is including a person's environment, the person's mental makeup, just a different factor that make that person who they are. And you gotta have like, I always looked at myself as having a pretty good judge of character. It's like, okay, if that's a good knack, that's a good innate ability to have, I think, especially as a scout, as a coach. You can see something in somebody, you can unlock that, that's great.
So, but before we get cut off, man, if somebody wanted to connect with you, if they wanted you to scout them and get some intel on them, where could they find you at, man? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
I am on Instagram, Ken Moore Scout, and I'm also on LinkedIn, Kenneth Moore. You can find me on what is that? Did I say Twitter or X already? I'm on Twitter. Was it Kenny M 1024, something like that?